football, passion versus profit. Saturday at 11 GMT. At bbcworldservice.com, Tech Life.
The changing social media landscape. What does the future hold for the platforms so many of us use? We speak to the CEO of Nextdoor with global ambitions, and artificial intelligence reaches lawn tennis at Wimbledon.
Next, it's Unexpected Elements. This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Coming up after the news, the show that brings you the science behind the news. This week, we hear about the psychology behind NATO deciding to let historically neutral Sweden be a part of the club. Should we consult groups when making decisions, or stick to asking our favourite individuals? On to a lack of neutrality in particle physics, and then physicists fighting archaeologists for the metals from underwater shipwrecks, and the archaeologist using physics, and chemistry and biology, to work out where our stuff comes from. Also, the wind farms that have been blocking reindeer migration routes, the role the Vietnam War played in a malaria treatment that we still rely on today, and finally, we decide if Beth, the brave bee scientist, can top our coolest science leaderboard. Can bees knock phages off the top spot? That's all coming up after this.
Hello, I'm Maura Alderson with the BBC News. A BBC investigation has found evidence that casts further doubt on the Greek Coast Guard's account of the migrant boat sinking in the Mediterranean a month ago. 82 people are confirmed to have drowned, but it's feared a further 500 may have died. Two survivors in Athens told the BBC that Greek officials caused the boat to capsize. They were also asked instead to implicate 9 Egyptians accused of people smuggling. In a separate case, a translator for another migrant group, Fazin Havand, told the BBC the Coast Guard threatened to return migrants to Afghanistan.
They were told unless you specify such and such, the individuals who were people smugglers, you'll be treated unpleasantly. You'll be put in prison and be returned to Taliban.
The Greek authorities have denied they were to blame for the tragedy. A Russian general commanding forces in southern Ukraine, General Ivan Popov, is reported to have been dismissed from his post. James Reid reports.
General Popov was the commander of Russia's 58th Army, which is fighting in Zaporizhia in southern Ukraine. He says he was dismissed after complaining about a lack of artillery support. He also asked that his troops be given a break from combat after suffering heavy losses. In his voice message, General Popov claims the Ukrainians could not break through the front, but his forces were instead hit from the rear by senior commanders. Coming soon after the Wagner mercenary mutiny, his comments are a further sign of deep divisions among the men conducting Russia's war.
North Korea has confirmed that it test-fired an intercontinental ballistic missile on Wednesday. State media released a video of the launch, as Michael Bristow reports from Seoul.
In a North Korean video of the test, a presenter announces that Comrade Kim Jong-un has given the order to launch. 3, 2, 1. The missile is shown heading upwards from various angles. As usual, North Korea wants the world to see that it's developing advanced weapons. This one is a long-range missile that could have a range of 15,000 kilometers. It used solid fuel, which is easier and safer to use, giving the North Koreans more flexibility in their launches and making it harder for the South Koreans and the Americans to detect them.
A fierce heat wave is gripping parts of Europe. Daytime temperatures are expected to rise above 40 degrees Celsius in central Italy. A red alert warning has been issued for 10 cities, including Florence, Rome and Bologna. Violent thunderstorms have meanwhile caused destruction in northernmost Italy. The heat wave is also affecting Spain, Greece and Germany. BBC News. The United Nations Human Rights Office says at least 87 people have been buried in a mass grave in Sudan's Darfur region. The UN said it had credible evidence that the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces were responsible for the deaths. It said local people were forced to dispose of the bodies, including those of women and children, in an open area near the city of Uljanena last month. Junior doctors in England have begun a 5-day strike, the longest walkout in 75 years, in a dispute over pay with the government. The British Medical Association said the offer for a 5% pay rise was not credible and is calling for a 35% increase to make up for the impact of inflation over 15 years. Parliament in Thailand is voting on whether the reformist winner of the elections in May should become Prime Minister. Pita Limjaroenrat and his Move Forward party swept to victory with promises to reform the monarchy and the military. Jonathan Head reports.
Mr Peter's party, Move Forward, plus its coalition partners, have a very clear majority of seats in the lower house, an obvious democratic mandate, and there was a tremendous surge of support before the election that gave his party the leading number of votes, a really unexpected result. But the senators have a key role to play. Because there are 250 of them, he needs at least 63 senators to vote for him. And many of the senators say they just can't. They're saying because they do not like his proposal to reform the law that protects the monarchy from criticism, the famous lèse-majesté law.
The Hollywood Actors Union has ended talks with the body representing major studios and streamers after failing to reach a deal over pay and assurances that their work will not be replaced by artificial intelligence. The Screen Actors Guild said its negotiators had voted unanimously to recommend strike action. That's the latest. BBC News.
This week I joined a new group, the Unexpected Elements team, because, as you may or may not have noticed, I'm not your usual presenter. Marnie will be back next week, but for now, you've got me.
Martin Brunt. And we're live at Wimbledon, where Ukrainian wildcard Elena Svitolina says the war at home has made her stronger ahead of her semi-final today. Now, in the past few hours, junior doctors in England have started what's being described as the longest strike in NHS history. They're walking out over 5 days in a significant escalation of their dispute with the government over pay and working conditions. More than 650,000 NHS appointments have already been cancelled this year due to strikes. The government has offered junior doctors a 5% pay rise and says any more would be unaffordable. But the British Medical Association, the doctors' union, rejected the offer and is demanding a 35% pay rise. Well, joining me now, our correspondent Sabah Chowdhury. And great timing to get you on this. Of course, the strikes, as just mentioned, kicking off once again and going to be pretty extended if things stay as they are. But also, of course, a focal point on the other side in terms of what we can expect to hear from the government on their pay offer.
Good morning. Absolutely. This really is a major moment in the history of the National Health Service. We're talking about, since its inception 75 years ago, this is the single longest period of strike action taken by junior doctors that we have seen to date. So from today, or a few hours ago, from 7 a.m. today to the 18th of July, junior doctors are taking a stand and undergoing industrial action. And their reason for this, they say, is simple. They want to have better working conditions and pay that's in line with inflation. Now, the government have offered them a 5% pay increase, but they're saying it's simply not good enough and that they want 35%. Now, the Health Secretary, Stephen Barclay, has said that this is simply an unreasonable amount and that it risks fueling inflation, is what he has said, essentially making all of us worse off. He's also said that he is disappointed because 651,000 appointments have been rescheduled as a result of these strikes. And as we've heard, there have been new stats this morning that actually have shown that about 7.5 million people have been waiting to start treatment since the end of May, according to the NHS England. And this is the highest number since records began since August 2008. 2007. Now, the British Medical Association, known as the BMA, is saying, look, we can leave the picket lines now, but what we need is for the government to come to the negotiating table, to hear our demands, and to be flexible in their approach. Now, the government, on the other hand, simply not budging. While there are strikes planned in the diary, they are not willing to talk to the British Medical Association and to junior doctors. So really, it does seem like while we have a stalemate in place, the strikes are going to be ongoing.
Sarah, thanks so much for that. And we're going to stick on this broad story, but take a look at the other side of things. And of course, the pay offers coming from the government, and the PM and Chancellor are to meet today to weigh up whether to give public sector workers a pay increase, or what scale of pay increase, in the face, of course, of all of this industrial action. Well, the bodies that suggest how much they should receive have already put forward their proposals to government, and now it's time to find out what ministers plan to do about it. Reports suggest that those bodies want an increase somewhere between 6 and 6.5% for those public sector workers, but Rishi Sunak will have to balance any pay rise with the pressure to keep wage increases to a minimum, as inflation, of course, is around 8.7% and highly elevated at the moment. Well, today ministers are expected to give updates on some of the sectors at the heart of the dispute, including the NHS, police and teachers. Well, our political correspondent, Tamara Cohen, is in Westminster for us. And Tamara, just again, remind us of a little bit of the logistics here. The independent bodies propose a pay rise. So far, that number's been relatively low, closer to what the government has wanted to keep the offers at. If this number from the independent bodies has risen significantly, what type of bind does that put the government in, and what details will we learn today?
Yes, so the Prime Minister and Chancellor are having this crunch meeting this morning to decide whether to accept the recommendations of the independent pay review bodies. There are 8 of them, and they represent, as you said, teachers, doctors, police officers, prison officers, the armed forces, and they each talk about the challenges in their sector, retention and so on, as well as what sort of increase they think that those staff should receive. Now, we expect that the recommendation for teachers is going to be 6.5%, and for doctors, because this is not all of NHS staff. Some have already negotiated with the government earlier in the year because of strike action. So doctors perhaps around 6% as well. This is the dilemma for Rishi Sunak. Does he accept them, as some in his cabinet are urging him to do, in order to put an end to strikes, particularly in schools where they've been very disruptive? Does he accept those recommendations? If he does, the Chancellor has made clear that there's no new money being stumped up. It's departmental budgets which will have to foot the bill for those pay rises. So schools will have to make cuts, for example, to fund anything over about 3.5%, which is what the departments have already budgeted for. If he doesn't accept the pay review body recommendations, that would cause a big row, because the government has for months kind of hidden behind those pay review bodies, especially when it comes to the nurses saying, oh no, it's not a decision for us, it's a decision for the independent pay review body. So it would cause a row if the Prime Minister decided to go against it and perhaps say, look, we're in a very difficult economic climate and I cannot accept pay rises at this level. So it's a dilemma either way, and we'll see what the response is, even if he does accept those recommendations from the public sector unions, and whether there is the prospect of strike action finally coming to an end. But the Chancellor has been arguing that it is public sector pay which is a problem fueling inflation, although private sector pay is running at a higher level than that. We also, interestingly, have not heard Labour saying they would wholesale adopt the recommendations of the pay review bodies if they were in government.
Tamara, thanks so much for that. Of course, it does come on a week when the Chancellor has reiterated quite a few different times his focus on cutting inflation. So there may well be a crunch point between these competing incentives today. Right, let's bring you details about a news story that emerged in just the last hour relating to Everton footballer Dele Alli. He's revealed he was sexually abused when he was 6 years old. The former England international has opened up about his difficult childhood, saying he was molested aged 6, started smoking aged 7, and was selling drugs aged 8. This is all coming out of an interview done by Sky Sports' Gary Neville for his show The Overlap, and more footage from that will be coming during the course of the day. Just want to bring you a couple of headline from the interview. He's saying those numbers I mentioned already. saying that an older person had told him that a kid wouldn't be stopped on a bike. So he rode around with a football on a bike, and underneath he had drugs to sell, and even goes further to say that a guy from the next estate hung him off a bridge aged 11, adding to those issues that clearly he had an incredibly tough childhood at a very young age. Goes on to say by 12 he was adopted, and from then on it was like he was adopted by an amazing family. And what perhaps had triggered this interview was his more recent troubles as a footballer. Of course, he rose in the early 20s to play for England, played at the World Cup, was somewhat of a rising star, and then has struggled on the pitch in recent years. And he did open up a bit about that as well, and saying that he has entered a rehab facility for 6 weeks in recent months for addiction to sleeping tablets and excessive drinking. And it seems in part of this interview he talks about thinking that it's probably not only a problem that I have, it's going around more people than you realise in football. And clearly Dele Alli, the Everton footballer, former Spurs star, talking to Gary Neville on the Overlap podcast and breaking some significant news in that too. Now, lawyers for Kevin Spacey will begin setting out their defence in his sexual offences trial in London today. The Oscar-winning actor is expected to give evidence denying charges which are alleged to have been committed between 2001 and 2013. Sky's Milena Veselinovic is at the court and sent us this update.
Well, you can see Kevin Spacey there arriving, looking pretty calm and assured. It's a walk that he's done before, and his lawyers will get their chance to tell his version of the events since the prosecution finished their laying out of the case on Wednesday. Now, over the course of the trial, the jury heard from his 4 alleged victims who described Kevin Spacey as a sexual predator. In his turn, Kevin Spacey denies all charges. He previously told the police that when it comes to one of the alleged victims, that he was deeply hurt and baffled by the accusation. He told the police that he did not know the other 2, and when it comes to the 4th accuser, Kevin Spacey said that he may have made what he called a clumsy pass at him, but denied that anything non-consensual took place. Now, it's 12 charges in total, Kevin Spacey denying all of them, and today he and his lawyers will get their chance to tell their side of the story.
Time for some of today's other stories now. Figures from the Office for National Statistics show that the UK economy contracted in May. Gross domestic product declined by 0.1% after increasing by 0.2% in April. The contraction was believed to have been driven by the extra bank holiday weekend for the King's coronation. That 0.1% decline did come in a little bit less bad than had been expected. The expectation was a decline of 0.3%. A prisoner suspected of stabbing disgraced former sports doctor Larry Nassar has claimed he was provoked when Nassar made a lewd comment while watching a Wimbledon tennis match. That's according to an Associated Press source, which says Nassar was stabbed 10 times at a Florida prison on Sunday. He's currently serving up to 175 years for sexually abusing Olympic and college female gymnasts. Authorities looking for a missing toddler in the French Alps have called off their search. 2-year-old Emile was staying with his grandparents when he went missing on Saturday, sparking a huge air and land search. Investigators say they'll now evaluate the evidence that they've already recovered. Now, much of southern Europe is in for another day of extreme temperatures as the hottest month in recorded history keeps the continent sweltering. Sky's energy and climate change correspondent Hannah Thomas-Peter is in Athens and sent this update.
Close to 40 degrees today, and then beyond on Friday and Saturday, the interior of the country could be looking at 45 degrees. It's well above average for this time of year, and it's why authorities are taking this heat wave extremely seriously indeed, opening cooling centres, saying that people shouldn't be working outside through the heat of the day, hospitals on standby, and of course real concerns about wildfires. Last year was particularly bad for Greece, and everyone, of course, absolutely concerned that that situation doesn't repeat itself. The vegetation is completely dried out, providing real fuel for any possible spark. Much the same picture across southern Europe, as you say, with temperatures some 10 to 15 degrees above normal in some areas. Italy expecting really punishing temperatures pushing up past 45 degrees. In Spain, the same. A big plume of dust from the Sahara also making things much worse in that western area of Europe. this region of high pressure really trapped over North Africa and Southern Europe and expected to stay, and this is the bit that makes it so dangerous, for maybe 14 days in some cases, with very little relief at night. And climate change scientists say that the fingerprints of global warming can absolutely be found on events like this. Yes, it's the Mediterranean. Yes, it's summer. Yes, lots of us come here to enjoy the heat. But these are extreme temperatures driven by generally rising temperatures, and climate change is making heat waves longer in duration and much more intense.
US actors are poised to go on strike as talks between their trade union and Hollywood studios have failed. American stars are demanding better pay and increased safeguarding around the possibility of AI taking jobs, leaving Hollywood facing a second industry walkout following the ongoing writers' strike. Sky's Martha Kellner has the latest for us from Los Angeles.
Hollywood is about to enter uncharted territory because the last time that actors and writers were on strike at the same time was 63 years ago. Just to put that into context, at that point, Ronald Reagan was the head of the Actors Union, and the film and television industry is a very different beast now. But we do know that SAG-AFTRA, which is the union that represents 160,000 actors, have voted unanimously to recommend a strike after months of negotiations with the production houses and the streaming giants. A statement from the SAG-AFTRA president says the responses of the AMPTP, which is the union that represents the production studios and the streaming services, have been insulting and disrespectful of our massive contributions to this industry. The companies to meaningfully engage on some topics and on others completely stonewalled us. Until they do negotiate in good faith, we cannot begin to reach a deal. You may ask why actors have chosen to go on strike at this point. Well, there have been two main sticking points. The first, as you might expect, is around pay. They want more residual payments. So those are a form of royalty payment when TV shows and films are replayed on streaming services. They say at the moment the payments they receive are simply inadequate. The second sticking point is around artificial intelligence. They say they want more reassurance that their digital likeness is not going to be used without their permission or without their payment for that use. Now, the AMTP, which, as I say, represents the other side, they said that rather than continuing to negotiate, SAG-AFTRA has put us on a course that will deepen the financial hardship for thousands who depend on the industry for their livelihoods. And it is true to say that this will bring Hollywood to a grinding halt. There will be very little to no TV or film in production for this period while actors are on strike. It did look like they may have been on the brink of reaching a deal, but then there was an intervention by the likes of Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Mark Ruffalo, who urged the union to take a hard line, and take a hard line they have. This will be a hugely impactful moment for Hollywood.
Martha Kellner there. You're watching Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. Still to come, we'll be live at Wimbledon, where Ukrainian Elena Svitolina says the war at home has made her stronger ahead of her semi-final match today.
Live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk. Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Former world number 3, but wild card into these Wimbledon Championships, making it all the way to the semi-finals and really playing inspirational tennis. Incredible, brave tennis. She says the war has made me much braver. It's made me much more confident. It's because she's fighting for a higher purpose in a way. And the mum of one, mum of a little Sky, she gave birth in October, has just been wowing everybody with the way she has played here and inspiring people back home. She said, I see pictures of little kids following me on their mobile phones and it just warms my heart. And if I can do anything to make them a little bit happy, then that makes me happy. Now, Svitolina has been one of the most outspoken players against the war. She's originally from Odessa, moved to Kharkiv when she was 13 because she had a sponsor there. Now lives in Monte Carlo with her tennis-playing husband, Gael Monfils, and their little girl, Sky, but quite often is back in Odessa and has been so upset and so outspoken about the war throughout. She's made it very clear at the start of the championship she will not shake hands with anybody from Russia or Belarus. This could be a situation if she beats Marketa Vondrousova from the Czech Republic today in the semi-finals. If she gets through to the final, she could face Arina Zabalenka there, who is from Belarus, and she has told everybody here, I will not be shaking hands. I can't act as if nothing is going on. I stand with Ukraine. I am standing up for my country. It's been an extraordinary story. Her ranking is now so low she couldn't have got into these championships without a wild card. She has certainly made good on that wild card, and everybody here, everybody on centre court in all of her matches so far has been right behind her.
Jackie Beltrow there for us at Wimbledon. Time for a quick look at the weather now.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk. Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And that's what makes you.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The hand that made me who I am.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning
Same
Show.
for now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and say welcome to the Thursday edition of the morning show. Today is the 13th day of July, the year 2023. We're at time now 10:41 from the hearts of London. Of course, it's the Thursday edition of the morning show, and I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
So from now till 12:30, when I bring the program to a close, I'm going to be your captain. I'm going to be here. But let me acknowledge my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, and my person himself in the house. Brother HP, good morning to you. Let me say morning to Mr. Olayomi Koiki, my co-presenter, who will be bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios.
Love for you runs.
Also, let me say a massive good morning to
all of you, men.
Anthony Adedeji Aziz, good morning. And to all of you who listen to us in the US, I salute each and every one of you. Samo, I hope you are doing very, very well and you had a very good birthday yesterday. Abio say all in the US, Comfort Haven in the US as well. I salute each and every one of you. And let me say good morning to my bishop himself, Bishop Adeshina, all the way in Lagos, Nigeria, and all of you in the RBS office there. I salute you. Pastor Momo, good morning to you. And let me say massive good morning to Sir Maxwell. And when you are good morning there, Shamsuddin, I've not heard from you this week. I hope you are doing very, very well. Shamsuddin, good morning. Olakunle, good morning to you. My brother Felix, all the way in Aberdeen, Kojo D here in the south, and Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, Dr. Martin, Mr. Kedi Austin, good morning to you all, folks. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Okay, once again, welcome to the program. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well in Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Jesus. And that's what makes you.
Okay, so if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us or watch us on the morning show, that is the Thursday edition of the morning show, this is how the program goes. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We move from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. You got it. Then after that, we will be looking at the stories making the rounds in Nigeria. With Mr. Olayomi Koiki exactly at 11 o'clock. Yesterday there was the Niger Voices. He'll be giving you a sneak view of what happened there. He had a very special guest there. Honorable Dr. Isaac. He'll be telling you more about that. Okay. Honorable Dr. Isaac, okay? And then we'll move on from there. Have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe. Exactly at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then at 12:30, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to be happening today. But wherever you are, buckle up, if you are sitting, sit very comfortably, you are standing, hold on to something because it's going to get bumpy, but be rest assured of one thing for sure. I'm going to get you to your destination in peace. Once again, welcome to the program.
Love for you, run.
So the quote for the day says, the hard reality is that you can't blame anybody, the government, parents, teachers, or anybody for anything. You got to see what you are doing about it. But you know, in this generation, one will always find somebody to blame for our failures as well. I know systems do fail. I know some are skewed towards your progress. However, what do you do under some such circumstance? That is the question. Therefore, many times when I talk to young folks in my area or in my church or my vicinity, I did ask them, especially those in the minority, ask them, how are you taking advantage of the opportunity that you find yourselves in? Because there might be lots of people back home who wish they had this opportunity and would have done something great with it. But you've got it. And what are you saying? Are you just saying that, oh, the system is against you, oh, racism and all sorts that we normally say? All right then. A word to a white is always enough. Once again, welcome to the show. Now let's move on to what is happening on the weather front. Well, in some part of Europe, the weather phenomenon and in the Mediterranean area is that troubling. So those of you who are planning to embark on holidays around those areas, I bet you got to check and make sure that you got everything that it takes to be able to enjoy that holiday, right? Okay, so now moving on straight to the weather front. This is what the weather is going for us today. This afternoon we'll continue seeing a mixture of patchy cloud and sunny spells throughout. There will be a few scattered showers around, but these should clear towards the evening. But tonight will be dry throughout and there will be mostly clear skies to start with, just the odd patch of cloud towards dawn, and thicker cloud will build in from the west as well. Total temperature is going to be 22 degrees and lower is going to be 13 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level moderate, pollution low, sunset 21:14 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:58 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today, the 13th day of July 2023, with the time now 10:46. Let's take a quick commercial break and I come back and I bring you the travel updates. So stay tuned, don't you go away.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
This is Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'm keeping navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:47. What's your travels like? You want to share with us? Well, we got a worldwide listenership and viewership, and therefore it will benefit somebody this morning. But let me tell you what is happening here in the UK, and especially those of you in London area. Okay, so when it comes to the underground this morning, I can tell you that good service throughout there, London Overground, good service, DLR, good service, but we have an issue with the London tram link. And the severe delay is due to a shortage of trams. London Underground and London buses are accepting tickets via reasonable routes that spare the tram. And let's move on straight to the major roads in London. Let me tell you what is happening there as well. On the major roads in London, Central London red routes have got serious delays. That aside, the others, no exceptional delays. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now moving on straight to the river, but as you know, Woolwich Ferry has got reduced service. That aside, all the others have got good service. Also, we got a London cable car that is running a good service there as well. And that brings us to the final segment of the travel update, and that is the National Rail. So what is happening on the National Rail this morning? Keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. I promise. Our bomb. Okay, so on the national rail this morning, cross country has got special service, Grand Central special service, and Greater Anglia minor delays. And that is where I would say it once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than I-Range Hydration Drink. I-Range is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of I-Range today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Okay, welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's now time for Global Trotting. So what is happening from across wherever you live? You want to share with us? That would be very, very great, right? Right. Okay, so now moving on straight, let's touch some of the stories that we'll be looking at when it comes to Nigeria today. I'm playing in the background something from Best Bassi, a saxophonist, little girl there, you know. Okay, now NLC is protesting Tinubu's 500 billion naira subsidy palliative demands. That's 300% pay rise. And then we will take a drastic action if federal government doesn't stop tanker drivers from extorting our members. Our tanker drivers extorting their members. Now, abducted Ekiti APC chairman Omoto Show regains freedom. Police arrest 3 suspects. Now, so who are the perpetrators? We're going to be telling you more about that. But the Fulani headsmen, who are they exactly there? Now, please check PDP candidate Ladi Adibo 2 associates for spending 2 billion naira on vote buying in Ogun State. Now, it's quite interesting. Which of our political parties or leaders who are not involved in vote buying? It's like, because they've not been caught, so you say, oh, you know what, I told a lie. But if you scrutinize it, like in this part of the world where that can be done, I bet you they will all be found wanting. It's like the woman who was brought before Jesus to be stoned. Then she said, Jesus said, I started writing on the floor, and then after some time, raised his head up and there was nobody there. He said, where are your accusers? He said, well, I've got none. Why? Because they found out they were all guilty. He said, you have got no sin to cast the first stone. So which of the political parties can say that they didn't do anything of the sort? I recovered 30 exotic vehicles, part of my retirement benefits. Oh my goodness. Samuel Autumn is saying, is it his own contribution? Is it that he contributed? Maybe he bought that to be used, and when he decided to go or leave, my tenure is over, people decide not to vote for me, I'm taking it away. Or what exactly is that? So can Buhari say that, you know what, all the state vehicles, the federal vehicles, I'm also impounding it because it's going to be part of my retirement benefit? Or is it that the state has not got the money to pay him for his retirement benefit, and therefore he thinks that he will have to exchange that for those vehicles? The military plans offensive against terrorist bandits in Zamfara, Plateau, Kaduna, and Benue states. I would say, because those were the places where the areas have been ravaged or rampaged by these terrorist activities. Akaredo's absence created no vacuum in governance. Acting governor says. The other time we're talking about the fact that, well, that has been going on. The governor was out of town, but he wasn't allowing the deputy to perform. But now they come to say that it's no problems there at all. Everything was taken along nicely. Well, Starr Radio UK Tinubu condemns Plateau killings, orders manhunt for mastermind, and more engineers will leave Nigeria. Dawn wants. Well, of course, if I'm not being celebrated in the country that I was born or where I am, and somewhere else I can be celebrated, I can make fortune, why not? So that is what is happening. The brain drain continues from all sectors or industries. What do you think about all that? Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds this morning. There, let me bring that your way. My Bishop Adesina, massive good morning to you and to the crew, all the wonderful colleagues of yours at the RBS office in Lagos State. I salute you. Okay, when it comes to some stories making rounds on the African continent, Parliament passes NACOC bill to allow cannabis cultivation for industrial and medicinal purpose. And this milestone achievement comes after the Supreme Court intervened and declared Section 43 of the law as unconstitutional, thereby hindering people. But is it in Ghana? I can tell you that Ghana Parliament has actually sanctioned that. So let's see what is going to happen there. 6 dead as police break demonstration in Kenya. 6 dead as police broke cost of living demonstrations in Kenya, which took place yesterday. Zimbabwe election, court cancels candidacy of Mugabe ally. And who is that? And why have they cancelled it? Doesn't he qualify? Okay, more going to be coming your way from there. It's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And the person is Kasakuwere, who is not being allowed to run for president. Is it that Mnangagwa is scared of him? That maybe some sympathizers of Mugabe will go with him? Wow. Starr Radio UK. Okay, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent, and this around in Ghana as well. What is going on there? Now, Minduri SHS closure. Government pretends over challenges with FSHS won't help students. That's what one of the opposition members is saying. A PAC is saying this morning. And as Addison is breaching Bank of Ghana Act over failure to publish financial statements. That's what the minority is saying. So in Ghana, it looks like some of the institutions are bigger than the regulators, or but I'll be telling you more about that. So here, where Parliament can call anybody, any firm, any organization, any of the leaders of the industries, whether they are even private or public sector industries, and they respond like no man's business. But in Ghana, when they are called or summoned, well, they tell you that, you know what, I'm not coming. What can you do? But we'll tell you more about that. So do you think that our democracy is working at all? Okay, explain why we owe suppliers despite 3 billion Ghana cedis approved by the FSHS in 2023. Up to government. Was that money used for something else? Diversification? Now people are asking if Commissioner Mensah is complicit in AWW brutality. That is our Yawaso West War gone. We'll be telling you more about all that. Some lovely tune this morning playing in the background from Best Bessie, the little girl who plays the saxophone. All coming away from Starr Radio UK. And best regard to you, my Bishop, as well. Okay, on the latest story that I did talk about, the plot to actually out the IGP, Dampare. Now, more evidence of plots to oust Dampare pops up. Another senior police officer is implicated. This around Victoria once, you know. My goodness. Okay, in other parts of the world as well, moving on straight on. The Greek Coast Guard pressured migrant boat survivors. New evidence further challenges the official version of last month's deadly sinking. Well, they're saying that about 83 people died, but apparently more than 500 people are said to have lost their lives. That is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. China has been accused of hijacking U.S. government emails. The U.S. Secretary of Commerce was among those impacted by the breach, according to reports. In the past, it's been Russia, but this time around China. The deadly heat wave sweeps across southern Europe. The heat wave could potentially lead to record-breaking temperatures, forecasters are saying. And I've been talking about that. I say if you are bound to travel to any of the states, call it Europe for your holidays or summer holidays. Hey, check. If you have to get yourself that neck fan or something of the sort, you got to. And then lots of hydration will be needed there. Bishop Adesina says court has given DSS 1 week to charge Emefiele or release him. But you know the DSS, oh my goodness, didn't the court say that Chief Sunday, and my apologies, what it got? Yes, Chief Sunday should be awarded how many millions? 20 million or billion, whatever it was. Well, they didn't even adhere to that. And then they said, release Nnamdi Kanu as well, because they don't find it, he's not capable for anything. He should be released, and up to now he's still being held. So will the DSS adhere to that? And that's another question for another day. Now, Russia general fired after criticizing army leaders. So more of the generals are actually criticizing the army leaders. And this time around, they didn't want to do it like what happened with the Wagner boss. So this time around, they decided to fire him. A top Russian general says he has been removed from his post in Ukraine after telling military chiefs the truth about the dire situation on the front line. Major General Ivan Popov was the commander of the 58th Army, which has been fighting in the southern Zaporizhia region. In a voice message, Major General Popov said he raised questions about high casualty rate and lack of artillery support. It was necessary either to keep quiet and be a coward or to say it the way it is, he said. I had no right to lie in the name of you, in the name of my fallen comrades in arms, so I outlined all the problems which exist. Well, he's been fired for that. So is the war or the soldiers in the battlefront actually, saying something different, and those in the Kremlin also singing a new song, a different tune to it all? Yeah, whatever it is, it's Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time down to 2 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are bringing you Global Trotting. We should be bringing you updates from Nigeria in the next few moments, so just bear with me. Now, lots of the stories going to be coming your way as well. Hugh Edwards in hospital as his name as in the BBC row. His wife said she issued a statement primarily out of concern for his mental well-being. And Gina that starts longest strike in NHS history. It looks like the Prime Minister is saying, now, you know what? We have to look at the things differently. Now we have to go back to salary. What do they call them? That body that seeks to regulate the salaries of government workers and public workers, and say maybe we'll have to look at the 6% increment that they're talking about there. But would that appease them? And would that not flame the inflation that is going on? And would that not in turn cause a high interest rate? The Bank of England, the governor of the Bank of England, to also now come and say, you know what, I've increased it once again. Oh my goodness. Lots more going to be coming your way this morning. If you are traveling as well, airport drop-off fees soar by nearly a third. That's what the RAC is saying. My goodness there. Okay, Starr Radio UK. We're going to take a quick musical break, and once we come back, we'll have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. But well, Bishop Adesina says, let's see if fundamental human rights suit of Emefiele can work, while others suit and right refuses to work in Nigeria. So we're all going to be waiting. Well, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who is been in incarceration with the DSS, we see. But he said that it is a lawless society. He doesn't believe that anything good is going to come out from there. But let's all watch it very, very closely. Who knows? Well. let's enjoy this song from Shadrach Mensah, Ghanaian gospel artist there, and this is the Afro Praise Medley. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Next level, everybody go. We say, hey! Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. One more time and say, thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Everybody! Thine is the kingdom and power.
This is Starr Radio. Starr Radio.
Okay. Sing hallelujah. Amen. Glory be to the Lord in the highest. Come on, everybody. One more time. And say, glory be.
This is Starr Radio.
Starr Radio. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody say hallelujah. Shout hallelujah.
This is Starr Radio. Starr Radio.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can shout hallelujah.
Listeners, Starr Radio UK. Well, very inspiring tune this morning. There is nothing or no one like our God. He reigns supreme. Therefore, wherever you are, we want to welcome you once again to the Starr Radio UK Thursday edition of the morning show. Don't you worry, there's going to be lots of music during the course of the show. But it's now 9 minutes past the top of the hour, and that means that I've got my own brother, in our North London studios, in the person of the White Lion himself, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who has joined us this morning. And Yomi, let me say a massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to Frank. Good morning to Bossman, and also all our presenters across the network. And welcome to our listeners from New Zealand to Japan to Malaysia to Europe, and most importantly to Nigeria, because like we always say, it costs arms and leg to be able to listen to us from the part of the globe where we expect so much, but maybe, just maybe, it might happen during the dispensation of this government or not. We will find out. Also, good morning to you, Archie, and let me come back to you again in the studio.
Yes, how are you doing? How is the family as well?
Well, the family are doing very well. I did a school run as usual, on the bus. It seems a little bit much quieter than I thought. I don't know why. Maybe some already taking their children for that long holiday, or it's just that we caught the right bus at the right time, because sometimes it could be a little bit packed. But I was counting the empty space on the seat, and I was asking myself, where are all the children this morning? But with the ones with me, I think the noise was a little bit much more to control all to the way to the school.
Well, whatever it is, you had a transport, you were able to move the children safely to school. But somebody would say, is that what happens in Nigeria, on the African continent? People who have to wake up at dawn to even travel so they do not get caught in traffic, and then the children go to school. There's abduction and all stuff that goes on there. But you want to know more? We're going to be bringing you all that from Starr Radio UK. Bishop Adesina says, lawless country like Nigeria, oh my world. Well, but we'll be telling you more about all that. So hold your horses. Starr Radio UK. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. But before we come to yesterday's Niger Voices and everything that we were talking about, the Yoruba Nation office here in the UK, in the diaspora, let's put it that way. I know that you most of the time go to Europe from time to time. How is the weather like in Turkey right now? Because we're talking about the weather phenomenon where they're talking about some very, very hot weather in those areas. I don't know how the weather is going, because I know a few people who are about to be traveling or going on their summer holidays. I don't know whether you also be going, so let me find out first. How is it?
Well, the weather is very beautiful because we do have a correspondent, not one, we have about multiple correspondents, on behalf of our network in Turkey. Mm-hmm. And as I speak to you today, Turkey is extremely warm in terms of the weather-wise. We understand that, climate is making a huge difference. And, talking about Turkey, I was actually looking at the NATO countries, and, I was discussing about Turkey being a member as well, plus some other countries, and I'll be able to link that to the conversation later, because we're discussing Ekiti State. Ekiti State was created out of Nigeria, extremely warm, beautiful weather, lovely tropical. I would rather want to be in Ekiti State, and the reason for that I will tell you. Do you know that we have pursue the career is an Afrotropical butterfly, genus in the subfamily Limanitidina. Their placement in their tribe. We have, huge amount of these in Ekiti State, a population of 3.3 million. And I was winding it down to a NATO country like, Latvia, that have less than, what Ekiti State have in terms of a country-wise. And the question has always been, why are things not working? Latvia is about 1.8 million in terms of population, but yet the weather in Ekiti State is beautiful, but there is no international flight that takes me there, and that means I have to get to Lagos State, and to even get to Lagos State, I have to go through Turkey, which is the cheapest I can find, because if I want to go through Paris, that means you need a Shanghai visa for those that doesn't have the British passport yet. So you can see that as diaspora, we face it a lot, and that means that even though we would love to be in Ekiti State, it's the smallest state in Nigeria. It has a lot of tropical, area, chimpanzee, we also have, the forest savanna mosaic, Guinea forest savanna mosaic. We also have the Mona monkey. The Mona monkey is the old wild monkey that lives in the Western Africa. And the last one is, we have the forest buffalo, and we call it Efon in Yoruba language.
Oh my, F4. Okay. Well, listeners, a bit of education there for you from Mr. Olayomi Koiki. This morning, I could see that program was going on and it was talking about Ekiti State. I mean, so if you miss out on that, you can go to the broadcast and you can really listen to it or watch it. Or it is good. It's good. We got something good. But the problem is, how are those who leading us? I mean, doing it? Are they getting everything done the way, or they are not being? Are they being selfless or being selfish? That's the question there. But you want to know more? Just stay tuned. Don't you go away. Now, yesterday on the Niger Voices, for the sake of those who were not able to be on that, I mean, we're talking about the Yoruba Nation and everything. We know there's an office that is supposed to be a headquarters here in the for the diaspora, and you had a chat with Dr. Isaac. Okay, I like to mention the name okay only because the other one is difficult for
see. Okay,
okay, good. So Dr. Isaac was on, and Yomi had a very long chat with him. I mean, it was quite interesting. But for the sake of those of you who missed out on that program, let's have Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you some view of what was discussed on that program yesterday. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, we had a very long conversation. The last time I had a one-on-one with him was March last year. That is almost a year and few months. And I was just trying to catch up, some of their activities. Every community, like the Ghanaian community, we are an African community radio station, and that means that we are just carrying along all the African countries and the West African as well. But what we should be asking ourselves is, why has there been no Yoruba community in UK? Not that we don't have the large population of Yorubas, but because Nigeria has always overshadowed every single one of us, and they were able to set up what is called the Yoruba Central Office. And the role, as you can tell, Central Office is there to take good care of the Yorubas that are living in UK. I did ask him if this has to be with those that are supporting Yoruba Nation, because we still have so many Yorubas that are not supporting the movement. And he actually went quickly and said, no, it is the office to make those that are living in UK, from marriage counseling to supporting the student when it comes to settling in UK, as they had someone traveling from US for the first time to UK, to also fighting on behalf of the injustice taking place in UK against the ethnic groups that are known as Yorubas. And that is the reason why it has been set up. They also have engagement, just like a surgery section that takes place at the Woolwich Library every Saturday from 2 p.m. up to 4:30 p.m. for those that might want to catch up with them there. He also went further to tell us a little bit of what they've done in terms of their engagement, because he traveled to Benin Republic, and the reason for that was on the request of the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, for all the the new president. What does he think? Because a lot of the Yorubas believe that now that we have the new president Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a fear of this new dispensation, does it really mean that we should just wind down the Yoruba Nation and allow him to focus on governance and restructure the country? That is, if he's going to put restructure in place. But he went further to say we should not abandon the Yoruba Nation, because Bola Tinubu has only the first term, which is the 4 years mandate, quote and unquote, if this is not going to change after the election petition tribunal. So in summary, he also went further to say it seems that Tinubu being given the chairman of ECOWAS is just too early. There are so many problems that Tinubu needs to endure and face at home, rather than putting him on a much pressure when it comes to ECOWAS relative or other engagement. And as you can tell, the NLC is already saying that they will protest Bola Tinubu 500 billion naira subsidy palliative, and they are also demanding 300% pay rise. The naira this morning continued to fall, devalue. It is now 1,000 naira with an extra 40 naira, or you might just get a bit of discount of 35 naira on top of that. These were part of the conversation from the central office to the discussion on the current government. I also asked him before we come back to you in the studio, what does he think about the former president Muhammadu Buhari after 29,000 Yoruba people died? He said that Buhari started very well, but it seems that something happened along to Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho. Rather than invading his house at the early hours of the morning while people were sleeping, and that led to the death of 2 Yoruba sons that have now left their mothers and likewise children and wives. And it seems till date, he also said, even if we are going to get any more compensation, it's not going to be the 25 billion because the naira is now devalued. So they should be paying Igboho about 30 billion for the damages in his house. And you can tell it was a full pack conversation. And we also had the last half an hour
program. So as we do say, if you missed out, just go back on the broadcast here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, whichever you want to. Just go on, just type in the Niger Voices with Olayomi Koiki and it will pop up and you will enjoy it as well. Starr Radio UK, bringing the time now to 11:21. And let's come on to some of the stories that Yomi was talking about. And NLC protesting Tinubu's 500 billion naira subsidy palliative. Now, and adding into what Dr. Isaac did say pertaining to his just being introduced or being what accorded the position as the chairman of the ECOWAS being a wrong time because I saw it and I said it's wrong time. The person has not even landed yet. He's not even appointed his substantive cabinet ministers. He's not done all those. It's not finished doing that. So to put him there, I think it's something that was very, very wrong. But we had other people from other walk of life who are saying, oh, that's good, congratulations. But the pressure is under. So now pressure already from the NLC protesting over this 500 billion naira, and they want a 300% pay rise. Where would the government get that money from? Yomi.
Where would the government get the money? Remember that Bola Tinubu is already saving money from the subsidy to the tune of 400 billion. He's asking for 500 billion. So he has in the account to take 500 billion if he needs to. But he's not just going to take the money without going through, what we call a due process. The due process is that he needs to approach, the Senate, and from there, he can then move further, as we say. Let's go into the story, the report. According to the reps, is now sitting on a 500 billion subsidy relief request today. Federal government, labor for their fresh negotiation. 500 billion is not enough for 125 million poor Nigerians affected by the deregulation, according to the Nigerian Labour Congress. The Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress have thumbed down the 500 billion palliative proposed by President Bola Tinubu, stating it is grossly inadequate to assuage the hardship confronting workers square to the fuel subsidy. And I'm just reading a comment on Twitter right now, and this is coming from Morakio_Larry. Suffering is increasing. Middle class people are already demoting to lower class in Nigeria. 1 meal per day. That is the situation of a policeman who spoke to me yesterday. We are watching palliatives. Maybe they will share to the needy or they will be greedy. Hashtag Yoruba Nation.
Well, palliatives, remember during the COVID time when it ended up that some warehouses have been stored with food, and those food were never given to the people until people broke in and went to loot it. So it's the same thing that's going to happen again. But Bishop Adesina has put something there. He said that the court has given Nigeria DSS 1 week to charge MFLA or release him. Now, based on fundamental human rights, that's why the court is saying that they've done that. Now, why is the same court not issuing or not using same authority on DSS disobeying his order over release of Nnamdi Kanu? So that is the question there, and I want us to ponder over it whilst the program goes on. But well, Yomi said that the president, already is making almost 400 billion from the fuel subsidy that removal. So maybe they will add some more to it. But will the poor person in Nigeria get anything out of that? Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before I come to Yomi, now Nnamdi Kanu under the law is free. Bailable, but DSS defile court order, and that is contempt of court. The court or judiciary in Nigeria is powerless, my brother. And he says, if you have money, law will bend for you in Nigeria. How true is that? How true is that? Well. Starr Radio UK. In the background where Mr. Olayomi Koiki, that came from Bishop Adesina. The background where Mr. Olayomi Koiki is if Nigeria does not come to an end, it will bring all of our lives to an end. That's what Nnamdi Kanu is saying. But I don't know whether Yomi want to pass a comment on that one before we move on. That instruction, that ruling from the courts. Yes. Is that we want us to move on? Okay. Now, abducted Ekiti APC chairman, a motor show has regained freedom. The police have arrested 3 suspects. Now, the question is, who are these 3 suspects? Where do they come from? What are they? Are they Fulani? What are they? What exactly is pushing them to do that as well? Yomi.
Well, we have different cases of kidnapping that does happen in Nigeria, and I can tell you that some of those cases, when the case of these chairman of the APC came out, sometimes we get a little bit worried and concerned, and like you said, if Nigeria doesn't come to an end, it will bring every one of our lives to an end. But it seems that the end of the lives of this person came back without being killed, even though I will go into a little bit of what might have happened. Nigeria, as we speak right now, is going through a lot, and I'll be telling you what the military are saying when it comes to the plea by the former governor of Zamfara, Yerima, that they should give amnesty or what they call soft landing to the bandit. But adopted Ekiti chairman Omotosho has now regained his freedom after he was kidnapped, and also 3 individuals have also been arrested. And that is Mr. Omotosho. Is the APC chairman driving up in Imesi, again Ekiti State. I have been talking about Ekiti as of today. Imesi is one of the local government. Imesi in Igboyin, local government area of Ekiti State. This happened on Saturday, and that means that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can tell that even though we thought that maybe sometimes when situations like this happen, some people don't come back, but it seems that according to the report, he has regained his freedom. Mr. Motoshaw, according to the family source, was freed by his adopters in the early hours of today. However, none of the sources could immediately confirm if ransom was paid. Let me take you back to last week. 3 individuals were kidnapped. One of them was killed on the spot by the Fulani terrorists. And the reason for that is they believe that he might not have any money. He's a security guard at the petrol station. The other 2 end up paying 5 million. But what we don't know is that how these individual Omotosho was released, whether ransom was paid or not. But in an updated statement to reporter confirming the release, Mr. Abutu also said 3 suspects in connection with the kidnapping has been arrested. He said that the arrest suspects who are currently in custody were providing useful information to the police to track the prime suspect. So you now have 3 suspects, but there's still another prime suspect. But according to the APC chairman, who was released alongside 2 others that was adopted by the hoodlums, he added that the release of the victim was a release of the joint effort of the police and other sister security agency. And in a statement, press release, the APC chairman and 2 others regained their freedom. This breakthrough was possible through the combined effort of the police and the others as well. While appreciating the good-spirited members of the public for their concern and regular support, the command state that the 3 suspects have been arrested, but they haven't tell us whether they are of a particular ethnic groups.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, but I'm looking at it that if they are not from the Fulani headsmen who are perpetrating that ill, and then from what are we doing to actually be hungry and get what? So people get involved in all sorts, and that's why it's very, very important that our government seems to address this issue, especially of this unemployment, so that they will not be used for such things. Which I know I agree that it is not right at all. They shouldn't go. People shouldn't commit such crimes. However, things do happen when people are pushed right to the wall and their backs are against the wall. People rise up and do a lot of things there. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Confiscating vehicles, so my question is, he says that those are his is it his pension money or his retirement fund? The question is, did he buy those vehicles for the state? One, does the state owe him? Maybe the state has not got the money to pay for his retirement. Is that what is going on there? Yomi.
I remember when I have a one-on-one chat with Tim. Was a very quick one. He was not prepared in terms of it was a shot. He was on his trip to US, and somebody arranged that quickly. And my focus with him then was the terrorism happening in Benue State. Also, whether there was going to be a coup. Remember that in February 1st this year we were talking about coup, even though Shure, the owner of the Sarah Reporter, says that Bola Tinubu must have paid out the military cabal so that there will not be any coup. But coming to a state like Benue State that has been rampaged by the terrorism, the Fulani, and too much killings, and this is still going on. The last thing you'll be hearing from a former governor to now acquire 30 exotic vehicles, and he says these are part of my retirement benefit, and you keep asking, what is he going to do with it? We know that the new governor have sent in tow truck to invade his automobile workshop, but the immediate past governor of Benue State has now criticized the current state government for invading his automobile workshop. So definitely he wants to sell these particular vehicle, I believe, and that is the reason why this is currently
him. So I mean, looking at all themselves in office, did he is anything of the sort of happened there?
Well, not really. What we know is that each of these governors, when they leave office, is not the only governor. Most of them, when they leave offices, they tend to go with government properties. Whether this is justifiable or not, but it seems that he is actually saying that these vehicles are part of his retirement, and there shouldn't be any reason why the new governor should be running after him for such. But again, as we know, it is not the first time that we've seen this happening in the election, in the change of government, and especially when the party changes in the state. If the party hasn't changed, you don't hear this news because it's a continuity, and it's because he has lost from his own party. There's a new sheriff in town, and the new sheriff also is trying to say that I am doing what is meant to be done, and that is why they are running after somebody like Autumn for the 30 vehicles at his automobile workshop.
Well, listen to Starr Radio UK. Well, if it's his own money and decide to go and buy 30 luxurious or vehicle, it's his own money. He can justify that. So what's wrong? But Jay Wasiu Femi, good morning to you. He says more strength to you, and we pray may Nigeria not happen to you. It is Starr Radio UK 11:35. Who allow Yomi to bring us the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, as we go into some of the other headline, the NCAA have now suspended Air Boeing 737 planes over safety concern. I actually read a little bit about this on Odonye David. He's an investigative journalist, and the amount of airline traveling within Nigeria, I'm talking about the local airline, their safety concern is something to be worried and concerned about. You would thought that, after paying huge amount of money to travel between Lagos and Abuja or Kaduna to Sokoto or wherever you're traveling to within Nigeria, you will be safe. But that is not the present situation in Nigeria, as most of these airlines are not just only dilapidated, they are being managed, and they are compromising the safety of so many Nigerians today. And that is why this particular airline called the X Air have now been given what we call a suspending operation. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has now suspended the operation of all the Boeing 737 aircraft in a fleet of MAX Air over safety concern after series of incidents. The suspension contained in a letter with the reference number NCAADG Air 1116363 dated yesterday, titled Suspension of Part A3 and D43 of the operation specification. And I hope that after the suspension, this airline won't be changed to a different color and then continue operating, because we know what Nigeria is. We've seen this before. Even the former aviation minister, Seriki Ade, went back to Ethiopia, brought us an airline, and then later on we find out that it has traveled back to its base, and the color coded has changed, even though a whooping amount of money was spent on it. So I just hope that this airline will not be transformed in a different disguise, and it will continue to operate. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Now, interestingly, sorry for barging in like that, but I'm looking at it that if they say there's something wrong with it, that airline, so those flights, the Boeing, they think that there is a problem with it and it's not airworthy. They want to check. Did they come out to say exactly what is wrong? Is it that the landing gear? What is it? They've not said anything. Have there been any incident of the sort that the public or passengers will know about? Yomi.
Well, let me take you straight to David Odoye. I'm right on his Twitter handle, and if this was not an insider that has revealed that one of the aircraft that traveled out of Lagos went back on an emergency landing. By the time he landed, the airtail was no longer there.
Wow.
So this is how the safety of Nigerians have, this could have been the biggest disaster. According to David Odoye an hour ago, now that the NCAA has confirmed the report and suspended that aircraft, as well as the entire MAX Air 737, will this guy and people like me ever apologize for accusing me of sensationalism? No, they just go ahead dead silent until the next time. Let me take you through to what he has said, in the last few days. In terms of his own report, and his report that I have read. I've read a little bit about that report, and it's in details. And the headline was "Passenger Alert: Nigeria is about to record another air disaster." On Wednesday, 14th of June 2023, an aero contractor Boeing 737-500 with the tail identifier F59BLE took off from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, shortly after dark on a scheduled service to Sokoto with over 100 passengers on board. It never made it to Sokoto. Within a few minutes of takeoff, the pilot declared an undisclosed emergency and returned to Abuja. 3 weeks later, on the Friday, 7th of July 2023, a MAX Air that we're discussing right now, Boeing 737-3HE with a tail identifier 5N MHN took off from the same airport at about 12:15 with nearly 100 passengers on board. This flight actually made it to Yola, but passenger disembarked safely. What both of these passengers did not know was that they had narrowly escaped becoming the victim of the Nigerian largest civil air disaster since Dana Air incident, in 2012. The passenger on the Sokoto-bound flight were never told exactly what happened, but what happened is water was found also inside the container where the fuel should be.
Yeah.
And he also made it to say that Max Air and the fuel pump, that never happened. Like many other regional airlines in Nigeria around the world, Max Air favors the blah blah blah. But something that was much unique is that one of the most important items of a checklist is the daily fuel slump. To sump the fuel in an aircraft, fuel tanks must remain dry in any water that has been found. These aircraft flew with water inside, and by the time it was also landing back, which there's a video evidence, the tail also is no longer to be found.
Wow, I mean, it's serious, because most of us travel back there and everything that, to make our journeys, because you don't want to go via the road, you go via the rail as well, and then you have people, kidnappers and all stuff. So, okay, let's just hop on the plane, boom, from Lagos to maybe Abuja, and then if you have certain things like that going on, information like that coming in, it has to give you that confidence that you want to really travel on those flights as well. So we hope that they are doing diligence. But Bishop Adesina said he is laughing his head off, because you know that in Nigeria anything is possible. Tomorrow somebody will come to paint that plane and say this one is a new one that I just come from London. Wow. Listen, Starr Radio UK. Let's allow Yomi to bring us the rest of the stories. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's move swiftly because of the time constraint already. This is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we say all the time, may Nigeria not happen to us. Yesterday, I got a video, and in that video, these are 3 Yorubas, Muslim precisely, and guess what? They've just sold each other with less than, looking at the exchange rate with about £40, you've been sold a head. 45,000 naira was bought from another person to pay to get the head. What is the reason for that? Ritual money as usual. We hope that this individual would finally face justice, even though the person that have been killed has gone away from the earth. These are some of the crimes that is happening within system of the local government. Sometimes it comes onto the air, and sometimes it never does. Reps are demanding review of salary and allowance to cushion effect of subsidy removal. The lawmakers say that their salary and allowance can no longer meet the demand of their job. Hence, they call for a review. Members of the House of Representatives are demanding upward review of their salaries and allowance. You'll be wondering whether they are really part of Nigeria or not. But this again are Nigerian senators and House members that are going to be running the operation of Nigeria, representing Nigerians in different categories. But as you can tell, they are also complaining that it seems that they need to review their salary. It was gathered that the demand was the outcome of a meeting the lawmakers had on the July 11th after going into an executive section during the preliminary. The complaint from the lawmakers arising from salaries and allowance forced them to go into executive session in order to dose the tension. The lawmaker also demand from the speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, the reason for the delay in their payment of their salary and allowance, causes some of them to result in loan. It seems that they are not part of Nigeria, I can tell you that. There's been a lot of response to the story about the aircraft that we've been talking about. Someone said, Jesus Christ, where do we even begin the cleansing in Nigeria with double hashtag? This other person went on to say, this most likely confirm why Max Air cancelled its Sunday night July Abuja to Yola flight and using its Boeing 77 for local flight on Monday. These people they use our lives, they play in a broken English. This one said, Chineke, you pay money for flight only to fly high to heaven. God forbid. This one further also say, just discover the artist through you. Thanks. She has a beautiful song. It seems that that's a different thing entirely. And the last one said, so who will be the victims of the failures of a few wicked people in the Nigerian government? The question in the minds of the genuine concerned individuals. And it goes on and on and on. So it seems also that Nnamdi Kanu is trending this morning as usual. There's a lot of pressure in the southeast. David Odonye is trending. WhatsApp is trending. And as usual, Simon Ekpa remained the top search name on Twitter in Nigeria today at about 41,000. And I'm sure you know the reason why. He's the leader, according to the government in exile, Prime Minister, and he has been given the order for the total lockdown. In the end of the month, he has said that there will be a 2-week shutdown of the southeast again. And tonight, I'll be reporting that tomorrow there will be a press, a joint statement that he has asked everyone to listen to. We don't know what is going to be the outcome, but it seems that under his Twitter handle, he is responding back to back to as many of those that are still against the sit-at-home civil disobedience for the freedom of their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that was kidnapped, renditioned back by the former President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. And it seems that Nnamdi Kanu's health, according to Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, we should all be concerned because Nnamdi Kanu's health is becoming deteriorating. Simon Ekpa was responding to Peter Obi. Obi says sit-at-home directives not issued by IPOB. Security agency must tackle the criminal activities. Simon Ekpa responded 7 minutes ago. Help me tell this Ijotio. Who is IPOB? Obi is now the IPOB spokesperson. And there's another one that says, no delight in killing. If killing some is what it would take to protect Anambra people, so be it, State Commissioner. Simon Ekpa responded back, if this police order killing of any Biafra in Anambra and they killed anyone, Biafra must go for him. The jihad, the genocide, the annihilation must stop. It is eye for an eye. Also, Biafra liberation is happening. And the last one is also coming from Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi. And Imo State government yesterday vowed not to yield to the antics of the non-state actors in disrupting governance in the southeast geopolitical zone. Simon Ekpa responded back again, let the governors know that any attempt on me, I would declare war against them. From village to their various government houses, you can't threaten me on attack and me go and attack me and you can go free. So you can see that there is a lot of tension right inside southeast as we speak right now. While Simon is trending at 41,000 tweets, Nnamdi Kanu is trending at 20,000 this morning. I'll come back again to you in the studio, and that is what is trending on the social media when it comes to Nigeria this morning.
Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria and what is happening on the social media platform as well. But Bishop Adesina says human heads sold for rituals for 45,000 naira, invariably for Ruba, Yoruba digital currency. How shallow is people's mind? They must pay for the life they have wasted. And what would the authorities do about this? I hope that they do the necessary investigation to make sure that they get and the corporates too. I mean, whoever the person has lost their life already, but they have to bring them or get some justice for this life that has been missing. Well, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yomi, before we go.
Well, it's going to be a packed day, especially maybe you are just thinking of being a homeowner. Why not join the boss man later on at 7 p.m. and I'll be back again tomorrow. But Archie take you to the rest of the traffic and the news happening right here in the UK and around the world. I'll be back again 11 o'clock tomorrow. This is Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Thank you and bye-bye for now. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is now gone, 10 minutes to the top of the hour. So we're going to take a musical break, and once we come back, we'll continue with the show. But that will be after this commercial break. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
The taller I become, the further you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. Cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho.
This is Starr Radio.
Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly, it will blind you. 'Cause there is something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. Well, we know better. Just look him in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
Well, something from Mika Paris, something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, and I know that you can make it as well. So it doesn't matter the circumstances or the situation that you might find yourself in right now. Well, as a good book says, the Bible says, and it came to pass, that will also come to pass. So whatever it is, just stay tuned and stay close to yourself. Don't tap the dial. So it's Starr Radio UK. Pastor Momo says, good job, gentlemen, and good job to you, Pastor Momo, for listening to us as well. God bless you.
But you did me wrong.
It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. This evening exactly at 7 o'clock, KB Bossman will be coming your way. Yeah, with Vicky Newton, of course, the property hour show. So keep your dial, so log on Starr Radio UK when that comes your way. Now in the afternoon, there's going to be lots of music, and we call it More Music, Let's Talk, when our DJs take over. But for now, we're going to take a commercial break, and once we come back, we're going to be bringing you all the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But let me announce the lines before we take that break. So, if you want to join in the conversation, it's 02081 332257058. 02081 332257058. You happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737. 0017183032737. To text or WhatsApp, it is 0753966144. 0753966144. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Let me say good morning to my friend and brother, Mr. Feribuama, John Feribuama, all the way in Texas, listening to us this morning as well. Kweku, I hope you are doing very, very well. Yes, I've got in touch with the later one. We'll be chatting after the program as well. Okay. Now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. And this round, just after this commercial break, as I did say, from other parts of Africa, and will land here in the UK before the program is brought to an end.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agent, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to 2 minutes to the top of the hour. So as I did announce earlier on, the lines are open. Hop in, make your voice heard. Don't sit on the fence. Share your thoughts with us as others have done. So you can also do the same. Maybe you want to call in and then make your voice heard. Why not? If you want to just post on the various platforms that we are broadcasting on, feel free to do so as well. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show. And as we heard, I'm still your one and only Archie, and I'm bringing you the rest of the program. So now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. Now, yesterday we did talk about demonstrations that have been planned by the opposition parties in Kenya. But well, a picture before me is not a pleasant one to see at all, where a demonstrator has been caught rain. You know, back in Africa, when somebody's arrested, the way they jacks you, yeah, they pull your trouser from behind, and your legs, both legs cannot even touch the floor, and then you see people like as if they are swimming. Well, the police and demonstrators clashed in Kenya on Wednesday as part of a banned opposition protest against the high cost of living and tax hikes. The wave of unrest killed at least 6 people across the country. The government have got many things, empty promises, like now the matatu, that's a form of road transport, fares are up. Fuel costs are up. Food costs is very high. We can't afford to get even a single meal. We go maybe on water per day. That is quite a scathing attack on the government. Now, this is a very fake government, and we are praying for Baba Raila Odinga's opposition chief to press it hard until something happens. We need low cost. We are living in the hard times. Kenya is in a poor state. It shall reach a time when even educating our children shall be a problem, admitted a businessman Otieno MC Dimba Bongo. Now, many blame the authorities for using excessive force against demonstrators, including tear gas. Now, the police are using excessive force on the citizens, and many have been injured, and even my brother is being treated for the gun wounds. He has been shot. He has sustained from being shot in his legs, and it has hurt us. We are not happy at all for the use of force by the police, and I'm appealing to the authority to look into the ongoing issues, because we are the citizens. You stole the election, okay? We are not happy. That is quote unquote, okay? And there are a lot of typo there, and that's why it's being read that way. We are suffering. We are not fighting for ODM, but are hurting from. You have eaten all the money. How can you eat all the money? Okay, chop. Somebody will say chop all the money, and we are suffering. There are no jobs for the youth. Complained Benson Ocheng, brother to a man shot by the police. Opposition leader Raila Odinga initiated a string of anti-government rallies this year after losing to William Ruto in presidential elections last August. But the question is, just last August, so let's say a year on, okay, I've forgotten when it was sworn in. Now, with everything that has gone on, do you think that those who are supporting Raila Odinga should come out to say that? Because Raila Odinga was part of the government that went out a moment ago, which we have William Ruto, Raila, now William Ruto as well, who was also one of the vice presidents for Kenyatta. So they were all there. They all caused the mess there. So if anything, they should hold their own man accountable for that as well. But they don't seem to be doing so. Well, he incited them, initiated that, and well, 6 lives has been lost out of that. Well, Starr Radio UK, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In other parts of the world as well, Africa as well. Now, okay, let me bring you this one. I said I wasn't sure whether it was the Ghana, but Ghana's parliament has passed into law the Narcotics Control Commission Bill. That's 2023. As a result, the Ministry of Interior has been bestowed with the responsibility of issuing licenses for the cultivation of cannabis, opening up avenues for the utilization of the versatile plant in various beneficial applications. This milestone achievement comes after the Supreme Court intervened and declared Section 43 of the law as unconstitutional, thereby hindering the smooth passage of the legislation. Now, Section 43 of the Act 1019, that's 1019, previously authorized the minister, based on the commission's recommendation, to grant licenses for the cultivation of cannabis, commonly known as weed, in Ghana. However, this provision has been eliminated due to its unconstitutional nature. On the 12th of July 2023, Parliament took up the Narcotics Control Commission Amendment Bill 2023, which consists of a single clause that once passed will empower the minister to grant licenses for cannabis cultivation within the country. With the enactment of this law, Ghana takes a significant step towards harnessing the potential benefits of the cannabis cultivation by allowing the controlled cultivation of cannabis with limited THC content. The government aims to tap into its industrial potential and explore its use in the production of fiber and seed. Moreover, the medicinal properties of cannabis can now be further explored and utilized in a regulated manner. But have we got the bodies to see to its regulation, or are we just happy? Oh, let's look at the monies that we're going to be making out of that. Well, let's see. People are making money at the back of that. Why can't we make money out of that as well? But this all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 4 minutes past the top of the hour. In Zimbabwe still. Now Mugabe, Zimbabwe election, court cancels candidacy of Mugabe's ally. The story says Zimbabwe's High Court of Justice has annulled the candidacy of an ally of former President Robert Mugabe in the presidential election scheduled for August. His electoral advisor announced on Wednesday. Now, Xavier Kasukwere, 52, a member of a former minister and former senior member of the ruling ZANU-PF party, left the country when Mr. Mugabe was ousted in a government-backed coup in 2017, planning to return from neighboring South Africa and run as an independent candidate. He's one of 11 candidates whose nomination papers have been accepted by the Electoral Commission for the 23rd August poll, but the Harare High Court ruled that the procedure had been conducted in violation of the constitutional provisions relating to the qualification of a presidential candidate. Jacqueline Sunday, Mr. Kozokwere's electoral advisor, said. He goes on further to say the court's decision came after a Zimbabwean voter argued that Mr. Kosokwere was ineligible on the grounds that he had been living outside Zimbabwe for more than 18 months. The court annulled Mr. Kosokwere's candidacy and ordered the Electoral Commission not to put his name on the ballot paper. The judgment is wrong, Ms. Sunday adding that an appeal had been lodged. Critics have accused the government of using the courts to target opposition politicians as the country prepares to go to the polls. Well, if it's in the constitution that if you live outside the country for more than 18 months, you don't have the right, or you are disqualified from running as a candidate for the presidency, then what is wrong with that? But if not, then we got to look at that once again. But this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right, now moving on straight, one story from Ghana as well. Let me bring you this one. Now, I did talk about on Monday the audio leaked audio tape recording of some police bosses or chiefs who were making plotting or hatching a plot to oust the IGP, the current IGP, Dr. Dampare. Now, people are asking if Commissioner Mensah is complicit in AWW brutality, because the Member of Parliament for Wild West, Peter Tobu, says Ghanaians are asking if the commissioner mentioned in the leaked audio plots into the removal of the Inspector General of Police is complicit in the Yawaso West War gun brutality. Now, speaking with Joshua Kojo Mensah, the lawmaker stated that no IGP will want his name dragged into the Ayawaso war gun situation. If you think that the police have a role to play, the only thing they can do, like Ayawaso West War gun, is that the police will not respond. If you want to kill yourself, you can kill yourselves, but that is also unpoliced. And that is also unlawful, and that is also disrespecting the constitution that established the police institution. He goes on to say, quote unquote, what happened in Ayawaso West War Gone, the IGP at the time was not in the known. People are beginning to ask questions about the name Commissioner Mensah that was mentioned. He was the Director General Operations at the time. Was he complicit in that act? When he was asked if he said he knew nothing about it, was he complicit in that act? Because the people in the audio seem to be suggesting that it is Ayawaso West War Gun kind of election that can allow MPP to break the 8, Mr. Tobu has stated. So do you think that there's a need for an investigation to be initiated there to bring the culprits to book? They were saying that, well, lobbying is okay, so I can go and see somebody and lobby that, make me that. But if you listen to the audio very, very well, it's like giving a dog a bad name so they can hang it. That's exactly what they were talking about. And talking about the fact, going further to talk about the fact that, look, if it's not taken away or moved from that office, the MPP cannot win the 8th or break the 8th, right? I said win the 8th, break the 8th. Now, what do you think about all that? It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But on that story, more of it is coming on, and it seems quite more damning evidence is emerging around the plot by some senior officers of the Ghana Police Service to oust the Inspector General of Police, George Akufu Dampare, ahead of the 2024 general election. Information coming through said as Ghana broke that news about a secret recording implicating some senior police officers of plotting the removal of Dr. Dampare from office with a politician in the ruling New Patriotic Party. The initial publication was accompanied by a 50-minute audio recording detailing the agenda of the police officers during a meeting with one Alhaji, the MPP man. Now, however, the availability of more damning evidence in the form of video recording provide more insight into the plot. In one of the videos, a certain superintendent of police, identified as Asari, goes all out in advocating the agenda of the cabal during another meeting with a senior member of the MPP in his attempt to malign the current IGP with various allegations, including why his anti-MPP Superintendent Asari retorts by saying because he, that is Dampare, is naturally born bad. Well, he's a bad man. He said he's naturally born bad. Oh my goodness. Now, in the audio recording published on Ghana Web, as well, a senior police officer with the rank of commissioner is heard lobbying for the political support for their crusade for the removal of Dr. Dampare. According to the commissioner of police identified in the audio as Mesa, the leadership style of Dr. Dampare threatens the possibility of the New Patriotic Party retaining power in 2024. Well. Is Dampare really bad? Is he a bad man? He said he was born bad. Is he? Well. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11 minutes past the top of the hour. We're bringing the program to close. It's at 12:30. Okay, and so it's 12 minutes past 12. Now let's go to other parts of the world and let's look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Now, information coming through says new evidence by the BBC now casts further doubt in the Greek Coast Guard version of events surrounding last month's deadly migrant boat sinking, in which up to 600 people died. Now, two survivors have described how the Coast Guard pressed them to identify 9 Egyptians on board as traffickers. A new video of the overcrowded boat foundering at the sea also challenges the Greek Coast Guard account. It was taken when the boat was said to be on a steady course. Now, BBC Verify has confirmed the footage was filmed when the Coast Guard claimed the boat was not in need of rescue and was in fact filmed by the Coast Guards themselves. Now, we have also confirmed that the larger vessel in the background is the oil tanker Faithful Warrior, which had been asked to give supplies to the migrant boat. The official Greek Coast Guard account had already been challenged in a BBC Verified report, but now we have seen court documents which show serious discrepancies between survivors' witness statements taken by the Coast Guard and the in-person evidence later presented to a judge. A translator has also come forward with an account of a people smuggling investigation last year after another group of migrants were rescued by the Coast Guard. He described how witnesses from the incident were intimidated by Coast Guards. The legal case collapsed before it could reach trial. The revelation raises fresh questions about how the Greek authorities handle such disaster. But both Greek Coast Guards and Greek government did not comment and declined our reports, our requests for interview there. They don't want to further complicate issues for themselves, would they? Okay, 14 minutes past 12. A top Russian general says he has been removed from his post in Ukraine after telling military chiefs the truth about the dire situation on the front line. Now, Major General Ivan Popov was the commander of the 58th Army, which has been fighting in the southern Zaporizhia region. In a voice message, Major General Popov said he raised questions about high casualty rate and lack of artillery support. It was necessary either to keep quiet and be a coward or to say it is the way it is, he said. I had no right to lie in the name of you. In the name of my fallen comrades in arms, so I'll outline all the problems which exist. The voice message was posted to Telegram by Russian MP Andrei Guryov, who is a former military commander and frequent commentator on state TV. It is unclear when the message was recorded. Among the issues, Major General Popov said he highlighted to his superiors where the lack of proper counter-battery systems to help repel Ukrainian artillery attacks, as well as a lack of military intelligence. The commander said his dismissal was demanded by senior commanders who he accused of treason and approved by the Russian Defense Ministry Minister Sergei Shoigu. Now, Russian military bloggers, often the most insightful form of information in the absence of official comments from Moscow, reported that the order to dismiss Major General Popov had come from the head of Russia's armed forces, General Valery Gerasimov. They said General Gerasimov accused Major General Popov of alarmism and blackmailing senior management after he highlighted the need to rotate soldiers who had been in the front line for a sustained period of time and has suffered significant losses. The senior chiefs apparently sensed some kind of danger from me and quickly concocted an order from the defense minister in just one day and got rid of me. Major General Popov said the Ukrainian army could not break through our ranks at the front, but our senior chief hits us from the rear, viciously beheading the army at the most difficult and intense moment. The Russian Defense Ministry has yet to comment on the dismissal. I know they will not. They'll come up with some cock and bull story to defend whatever that has happened there. But what do you think about that? It's a war. The way we are seeing it, those of us outside, is it the way that is really going on? And are Russian soldiers actually loving to fight for their motherland, to defend their motherland? Is that what is going on? Or is it because it's a military and they say, zombie no go unless you tell them to go? So they tell zombie go, zombie shoot. And that is what seems to be going on. What do you think about all that? It's All Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And now one other story before we move on to other parts of the UK, of course. Well, are you bound? Are you planning to hit the roads this summer to go to some of these lovely sunny places in Southern Europe? Well, a heat wave is sweeping across part of Southern Europe and Northwest Africa with potential records-breaking temperatures in the coming days. The temperatures are expected to surpass 40 degrees, that's 104 Fahrenheit, in parts of Spain, France, Greece, Croatia, and Turkey. Now in Italy, temperatures could reach as high as 48.8 degrees, and a red alert warning has been issued for 10 cities including Rome, Bologna, and Florence. On Tuesday, a man in his 40s died after collapsing in northern Italy. Italian media reported that a 44-year-old worker was painting a zebra crossing line in the town of Lodi near Milan before he collapsed from the heat. He was taken to hospital where he later died. We are facing an unbearable heat wave, Italian politicians Nicola Frattoiani tweeted. Maybe it is the case that in the hottest hours, all the useful precautions are taken to avoid tragedies like the one that happened today in Lodi. Maybe we have to do it like we did. We went for the World Cup. Was it last year? Yeah, that one went for the World Cup. Was it last year that we went for the World Cup? I think so. Or is it early part of this year? Which one is it? Growing old. Well. But what happened was that Qatar was so hot during summertime, where normally we have the World Cup, was so hot that they had to bring it somewhere in December where their temperatures drop significantly. So maybe that's what's going to happen now. Maybe in those countries they might have to get people to work in the night instead of working the daytime, so that they go to sleep in the daytime. What do you think about all that? Well. It's All Starr Radio UK and the final segments of the travel updates. So Now, they're still picking up on travel, especially those of us who want to embark on some holidays during this summer, a couple of weeks' time. Some are already on holidays and they can decide to embark on their journeys now. But airport drops off charges for drivers have increased by almost a third at UK airports over the past year, according to RAC. These are initial fees charged for dropping off someone as close to a terminal as possible. The biggest hikes in so-called case and fly charges are at the Southampton and Belfast International that the RAC found. Now, airports argue the higher fees are to deter drivers from lingering around and help to keep flight costs down. How would that bring flight costs down? If I'm lingering around the airport, how does that bring flight costs down? Or the charges that they're charging me, do they use that to subsidize the flights? Or maybe my airport tax? The Airport Operators Association, which represents airports in the UK, told the BBC that the increased revenue help keep charges to airline lower and help maximize the range of flights that can be offered to all passengers. Really? Alright then. Now, short stay parking areas around terminals usually have barriers for entry and exit. Drivers have to buy tickets to get in and pay for the time they stay to get out. Now, Southampton International Airport raised it from £4 to £6 for 20 minutes, while Belfast International has high prices from £1 to £3 for 10 minutes. A spokesperson for the AGS Airport, which operates Southampton, said the funds received through higher charges were important in supporting the airport's operational costs, which have increased significantly. Well, so if you tell me that you're traveling and you want me to give you a leg to go and drop it, I tell you I won't go then. Well, all this I wouldn't want to do. So go by a train or on a train. What about that? Okay. Well. It's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One final story, a couple of them, and we'll bring the program to a close for today. Well, the BBC has resumed Edward's inquiry as no criminality has been found. Police say no evidence of criminal behavior over claims he paid a young person for explicit photos. Okay, well, we wish him the best there, as they are saying that he has been admitted into an institution because he's had a meltdown, let me put it that way. Now, junior doctors in England have started a 5-day strike. My goodness, patients can expect a significant disruption as junior doctors in England begin their longest walkout yet over pay, NHS chief says. The 5-day strike in England ran until 07 hours BST on Tuesday, the 18th of July. Now, thousands of planned appointments will be postponed while more senior doctors failing to provide emergency care before then going on strike themselves next week on Thursday and Friday. Interesting. Now, people can still call the 999 for life-threatening emergencies. Now, speaking this morning, said Julian Hartley, Chief Executive of the NHS Providers, which represents Trust, said patients will feel the impact. He said, the continuous period of industrial action is really damaging for the NHS in terms of first and foremost patients, but also cost. The last junior doctor strike cost the NHS in the terms of direct costs around £100 million, and then of course there's the impact on progress towards delivering waiting list reduction. So this is really difficult and challenging, and we do need urgently a resolution to this industrial action. Alongside strikes, hospitals have faced other challenges to get back to full capacity since COVID hit. This includes staffing shortages, more emergency patients, and problem discharging patients because of the lack of care in the community. A record high of 7.47 million people were waiting to start a routine hospital treatment at the end of May, up from 7.42 million at the end of April, latest figures show. It is the highest number since the measures was introduced in August 2007, and nearly 3 million more than before the pandemic. 1 in 20 have been waiting more than a year, although the NHS has got close to eliminate waits of more than 18 months. Listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is where I bring the program to a close for today. It's been a pleasure coming your way, but before I sign off and bring you my last tune, let's take this commercial break and we do that.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Okay, let me say thank you once again for that wonderful time with you all, and those of you on all the various platforms. I salute each and every one of you. I'll come your way tomorrow once again with Mr. Olayomi Koiki, as we did say. Well, it's our prayer that Nigeria will not happen to any one of you, as we say on this platform. But wherever you are, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all later. Let's enjoy this tune. It's one from Shadrach Mensah. I did promise to bring the full length of that tune to you. It is maximum Afro praise. So enjoy it. And I see you all tomorrow. It's been me, Archie, and I say God bless you all. Bye bye for now.
We say, hey!
Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen.
One more time and say,
thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen.
Everybody!
Thine is the kingdom and power, glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah. Amen.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio.
Lord in the higher. Come on, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Glory be to the Lord in the higher. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody say hallelujah. Shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sing Everybody say